A lot of you know about some of my personal health issues with severe asthma and chronic disease. When I was young, I was always on antibiotics and puffers. I literally was the bubble boy in oxygen tents when I was younger than Owen because I couldn't even play sports. I sat at a gym class. You know, my parents didn't know about a more natural, holistic way of health. They only knew about the traditional medical approach of medicine and drugs. And although that can be helpful to get through symptoms, it didn't really help me perform at my best. And that's where chiropractic came in, and it really changed my lifestyle, my health, which is why I became a chiropractor. And it's influenced my family in two polar opposite ways. My dad was a man, like most of our dads, that didn't really think about health too much, wasn't as educated as we are able to be now about natural health. And he was a guy that worked hard his whole life, didn't really take any time off work, but when he retired in his early 60s, he ended up suffering from all sorts of fatigue and energy loss and pain, and turned to medications that masked some of his symptoms, but then would come back and take a higher dose, eventually on a drug called prednisone, which had severe side effects on his liver, ended up causing a liver disease that required him to require a transplant. Unfortunately, my dad never got that transplant. He ended up dying at 64 years old, 2 weeks before his 65th birthday, on a life support machine where he couldn't breathe. He was on a dialysis machine. And Owen was there for that day, and he was only just a young 3-year-old at that time, so he probably doesn't remember the details, but I remember it because my dad hasn't been there now for many years. Wasn't able to watch Owen cross the high school graduation stage recently. You know, my daughter's turning 16 years old today, and so he's not there for that. So it just reminds us how important health is, especially for men, because most men have a shorter lifespan than their wives, and a lot of it is because their attitudes towards health, waiting till they feel something, thinking they're too busy, that they're focused on work and not really putting the energy into prevention and trying to be well and stay well and be mobile. And that's why I turned to chiropractic for my own health now. I've been under chiropractic care for over 30 years. I'm in the best shape of my life, and you know, it's also for this young man here who's now an adult, and my little 3-year-old boy is now off in university and taking care of himself. But you know, he was just here today to get adjusted. So I feel like I've done my job, at least that I can, to impart a way of health that's more natural for Owen. Owen, what do you enjoy most about your lifestyle and being under chiropractic care?
I'm not one of the kids at school that's complaining that they have a sore neck from studying all the time because I'm getting adjusted whenever I'm home. So I don't have to deal with that all the time. That's nice.
Yeah, and when Owen's away at school, we have a chiropractor there that I've referred him to take care of him. Even if his own dad can't be there with him, I want him to be under chiropractic care his whole life. So if you have any questions about a man in your life, think of an uncle, a father, your spouse, a child, a male that's not as well as they could be, that maybe is a little stubborn even, that isn't willing to think outside of the box and even try a different approach than drugs or surgery. You know, invite them to watch this video, share it to them, like this video, ask any questions in the box below, and we look forward to helping you and your family on the road to better health.